Good morning. Good morning.
I'm introducing you.
I think. Oh, wait, Josh, you were right. I was okay then? Yeah. I didn't realize that the whole slide was loaded up.
Folks in the back, you can join us up front. Bob Freeman gave up his seat for you, so come on up.
Nice seats up here. Come on up. There's seats up in the front row,
1, 2,
folks.
3, 4,
All right.
5.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Man, it is great to be in snowy Bethlehem this morning. I can't get enough of the Lehigh Valley. I was here on Friday, back today, and so excited to be with all of you today for a huge announcement. We wanted to be here in the Lehigh Valley to make this important announcement that's being carried all across the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Sorry to be a little bit late. The roads were a little snowy, but nothing was going to keep me away from you today and from this important announcement today. I'm glad that so many of you didn't have to commute today because you live right here at the Linsenberger House. And you could join us as what we are announcing today really impacts nearly everyone here and hundreds of thousands of seniors all across Pennsylvania. I am really pleased to be joined by so many wonderful elected officials here today. We even have Congresswoman Susan Wild from Washington, D.C. is with us, along with so many of the great folks I get to serve with in our state capitol. I'm excited to be joined by Senator Lisa Boscola, who is here with us. Representative Steve, or as I like to call him, Sammy Samuelson. I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. And their colleagues in the legislature, Representative McNeil, Representative Siegel, Representative Freeman, and Representative Schlossberg. And we're excited to have all of them here. And the best government is the government that works together, local, federal, and state level. We got some awesome local elected officials here. You got to clap for our mayor, Willie Reynolds. Our county executive, Lamont McClure.
Thank you, Governor.
All these folks are here because they care about you and they care about seniors all across Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to serve with them. You know, as your governor, I've traveled all across this great Commonwealth, and I've heard firsthand from so many seniors who are facing real struggles right now. I heard from Gayleen Makuska, a senior from Scranton, who just wants to stay in her home. You remember Gayleen, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But she can't afford it as she grows older. She's really worried about that. I see a lot of your heads nodding. You know what Gayleen is talking about. Or Angelina Roque, who lives right here in this building. You know her. She's a star, right? And you're going to hear from her in a few moments. Angelina shouldn't have to worry about choosing between paying her rent and paying for her groceries, right? Well, we're making it a little bit easier for her and for all of you not to have to make that choice. You see, Angelina's story and other stories, these are the stories of Pennsylvania seniors, stories that have stuck with me, whether it's here in the Lehigh Valley or anywhere across Pennsylvania. I know you all have worked really hard throughout your lives, and you should be able to enjoy your golden years. And I know for many of you, a few hundred extra bucks in your pocket help make that much easier, right? Well, that's why I made a commitment to all of you when I was running for governor more than a year ago. And I reaffirmed that commitment over and over and over again in my first year as your governor, that my administration would help ease the burden of rising costs for our seniors and for families. You know, Secretary Brown, who's with us, you remember him. He used to be Senator Brown. Now he's Secretary Brown. He's in charge of the Department of Revenue. You know what that means? When you send your tax bill in, he actually has to count the money, every dollar bill. It's like, what? He uses his fingers, his toes, everything. It's amazing. He's a Lehigh Valley guy, and I'm proud he's in our administration. He, together with Secretary Kavulich, who's in charge of seniors in the Department of Aging all across Pennsylvania. He's a little further up the road. He's from the Scranton area. They know what I'm talking about. And I know many of you have heard me say this before. In my administration, we've got a GSD attitude. You know what that stands for? Get stuff done, right? If it was just Boscola here, she might say something different with stuff. You know her. But no, we try and get stuff done, like tangible, practical stuff. And I know it's so frustrating sometimes when you look at government at different levels, right? And especially down in D.C., notwithstanding our congresswoman's great work, like you sort of wonder, what are they doing, right? Well, here in Harrisburg, here in Pennsylvania, we got that get stuff done attitude. We focus on tangible things that help make people's lives better. And today is an example of that. You know that the property tax rent rebate program has long been a lifeline for our seniors, especially seniors who are on a fixed income. In my first year in office, we came together with leaders like Steve Samuelson and Senator Boscola to expand that program and to deliver the largest targeted tax cut for seniors in nearly 2 decades in Pennsylvania. We expanded the property tax rent rebate program in really 3 ways, okay? So follow me on this. First, we raised the minimum rebate from $650 up to $1,000, right? I heard from many of you, $650 just wasn't enough. And so we got it all the way up to $1,000. And so if you received the maximum rebate last year, and you get the maximum rebate this year, that means $350 more in your pocket for you to spend on groceries or whatever it is that you want to spend it on. So that's the first thing we did. We went from $650 to $1,000. Here's the second part of what we were able to do together. We increased the income cap for renters and homeowners up to $45,000 a year, okay? So a lot of people weren't getting it because maybe their Social Security went up, right? And so they got bumped up over that amount. So we raised it to $45,000. That's the second thing we did. And the third thing we did was we made sure that your Social Security check going up wasn't going to knock you out in the future from getting your property tax relief. A lot of you shaking your heads, you know what I'm talking about. So what we did was we tied that income limit to the rate of inflation, right? So to the cost of living. So as your Social Security goes up, as your cost of living goes up, so too will that income cap. So you're not going to get kind of priced out of the market again. So in a nutshell, here's what those 3 things mean. For the 400,000 Pennsylvanians that already qualified, their rebate is going to nearly double, right? And as costs go up, so does the relief. And because of all of these updates, we are adding another 175,000 seniors to the relief that we're going to get here in Pennsylvania. It's a big deal. Let me break it down for those of you here in the Valley. If you live in Northampton County, that means 3,700 more seniors are going to now qualify for relief. In Lehigh County, it means that more than 4,500 more seniors are going to qualify for relief. So more money and more seniors getting it. It's a big, big deal. And to make sure that we are able to reach even more Pennsylvanians, we've taken a major step forward in allowing people to apply online and making it much easier for people to apply online. I'm also proud of the fact that this is the first year that a Spanish version is going to be available in the online application through the MyPath system. So we want to make sure not only can more people qualify, but it's easier to be able to get. So more Pennsylvanians can access the relief they're entitled to, especially in communities like these where Latinos make up more than 15% of the population. Now, we've set up some tables here, Mr. Secretary, I know they're back there, where you can actually, when I'm done talking, when all these folks are done talking, don't get up now, you can walk over and you can see how easy the website is, and you can apply in English, Spanish, and there's folks here from the Department of Revenue that can help you. Look, folks, this is what good government looks like. This is what it looks like when Democrats and Republicans come together to get stuff done. I want to just take a moment and tell you this. I am the only governor in the nation, the whole nation, that has a divided legislature. Let me explain what that means. That means that one chamber, the Senate, is led by Republicans, and one chamber, the House, is led by Democrats. So for us to get anything done, you need Democrats and Republicans to come together and vote for that. And a lot of people will use that as an excuse for nothing getting done. Not here in Pennsylvania. We have shown an ability to bring Democrats and Republicans together to get practical, tangible stuff done, to cut costs for our seniors. And we are very proud of that. And you should be proud of all these representatives who are up here today who did that incredible work. Look, I wanted to come here to Bethlehem, Mayor Reynolds, to announce that the applications for the new property tax rent rebate program are now officially open. They're now officially open. So if you're a senior, you're someone who's disabled, just go over to pa.gov/PTRR. pa.gov/PTRR. And here's another cool thing we're doing. If you're going through the application, maybe you're at home, you're not over there, you got a question, you can literally text me and we will get you an answer. How about that, right? You actually text me. I'm going to give you my number. You ready for this? It's 717-788-8990. 717-788-8990. All of you can text me, except for Sammy. He's not allowed to text me, but you guys can. And I hope if you have a question, yeah, you go to Brown directly. If you have a question, don't get frustrated. Don't wonder. Just shoot us a text, and we'll get you an answer as soon as possible. The Department of Revenue, under Secretary Brown's leadership, will also have staff ready in the regional offices if you want to head over there or call over there to assist you. And we're also, thanks to the leadership of Secretary Kavulich of the Department of Aging, we're working with our AAAs, our area aging agencies, right? To be able to help make sure you are eligible to apply. And so listen, even if you've been priced out before, the income limits have gone up, so you might qualify this year. So we want to make sure that you are applying right now. So please head on over to pa.gov/PTRR and text us if you have any questions at 717-788-8990. Now listen, before I was governor, I was your attorney general, and before that I did some work in Montgomery County, and before that I was in the House of Representatives. And I had the chance to serve with the dean, Bob Freeman. Like literally, he's the dean. I think he's like been there longer than anybody else. He's doing a great job. And he sat next to Sammy Samuelson. And Sammy, this was like 15 years ago, was bugging me about this. Yeah. He's like, we got to get this bill passed in the House. We got to make sure seniors get relief. This is 15 years ago. I remembered those conversations. I remembered the fact that Representative Samuelson was pushing on this. I said, if I could ever do anything about this, maybe, one day we are going to do something. And now, as your governor, we got this done in my first year in office. We delivered this relief together. And thanks in large measure to Representative Steve Samuelson being dogged and determined to fight for our seniors in Pennsylvania. So it's my honor to bring up your State Representative Steve Sammy Samuelson.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor. Well, thank you very much all for being here today. Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for being here in Bethlehem to launch the expanded property tax rent rebate today. A couple more elected officials I wanted to give a shout out to. We have Councilwoman Rachel Leone from the city of Bethlehem and Councilwoman Grace Cramsey from the city of Bethlehem. I know you're going to hear from our senator and our congresswoman in a bit, but today we're here to announce that the applications are being accepted for the expanded property tax rebate. The online application went live this morning, and also you can print out copies, and we have these copies all over the state, so you can find out the details on the new rebate. It's an honor to welcome the governor of Bethlehem. Last year I was the prime sponsor of House Bill 1100, which enabled this rebate to take effect. We expanded the income limits for the first time in 17 years, and we also provided for larger rebates, larger maximum rebates for those who qualify. The expansion of the property tax rent rebate is now law thanks to 92 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives, including Representative McNeil, Representative Schlossberg, Representative Siegel, Representative Freeman. And we got that passed. We had a unanimous vote in the state Senate. Thank you, Senator Boscola. And the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, has made this a priority from the very beginning of his administration. It was in his first budget address. He pushed for it last year, and this bill was signed into law last August. So thank you, Governor Shapiro. Thank you. I still have the pen you used over at my office. Let's talk about the impact of this historic law. This expansion of the rebate benefits homeowners, it benefits renters, it benefits seniors, and it benefits people with disabilities under the age of 65. With the expansion of the rebate, 175,000 people all across Pennsylvania are going to qualify for the rebate who did not qualify before. And including, as you heard from the governor, 4,500 people in Lehigh County and 3,700 people here in Northampton County, on top of the 400,000 that we already have in the rebate. The rebate is now $45,000 net income for homeowners, $45,000 net income for renters. I say net income because you only have to count half of your Social Security. My office every year completes 900 property tax rent rebate applications, including for many of you right here in this building. Actually, last year we hit 899. And I have to introduce the A-team right here sitting in the front row. My staff, Glory Vasquez, Cheryl Baker, Damaris Garcia, they're the ones who complete more rebates than almost every other office in the state. And actually, we'll be here in this building on March 12th. March 12th and 13th, we're going to sign up rebates right here in this room. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. So as chair of the House Finance Committee this year, we work closely with Secretary Brown on the rebate, making sure it's administered efficiently all across Pennsylvania. And I really appreciate the efforts of Secretary Kavulich to promote the rebate all across Pennsylvania. So this rebate, with the 400,000 people we already have in the rebate and the 175,000 newly qualified individuals, 575,000 people are going to qualify for the rebate this year. Let's get the word out. It's now my honor to introduce our state senator for right here in Bethlehem and for most of Northampton County. True. Senator Lisa Boscola represents 250,000 people in our community, and it's my honor to represent Senator Lisa Boscola.
Thank you, Steve. He's just the best. I just want to say that I'm so honored to be here with our Governor Shapiro. You know, he's been here for the last, 3 times in the last 3 months, and I can't remember when a governor's been here that many times in that time frame. Actually, some governors haven't even been here in their term that many times. So, you could just tell what he feels about the Lehigh Valley, and I think part of it is because he does respect the fact that Democrats, Republicans, and Lehigh Valley really do work together to get things done. And he's right. Sometimes I say get stuff done, and I use a different word at times. But that's okay, because you know what? It does get done. Anyway, I also wanted to say that if it weren't for Governor Shapiro, this bill would not happen. And why I say that is because I've been in the legislature for over 30 years now, and I hammer away at how seniors need relief from their property taxes. I've introduced bills to freeze property taxes for seniors, rent rebate, tax, increase those limits. I also want to reimagine how we fund education to begin with, because how we pay for schools is kind of antiquated at this point. But however, so all this time, I keep hammering away. And the Senate, every time we talk about education funding, I get up and they're like, here she goes again, all about property taxes. And I'm relentless. And I'm relentless because I know people need this help. And the only governor that listened in that time frame that I've been in Harrisburg has been Governor Shapiro. So please give him an appreciation. Thank you. Today isn't about me, but I want you to know that my office is also available, as all the representatives' offices are. So when you talk to people out there and they need help and they need to know if they want to qualify for the rent rebate program, please say you can call the senator's office, the representatives' offices. We are there to help you too. If you can't fill an application out, we'll help you. We even come to your homes. So get that word out there, and we'll be there to help you. Thank you. And of course, I forgot to do my main duty, was to introduce our great Congresswoman, Susan Wild.
Well, good morning, everybody. And again, you can't say it too many times. Thank you so much to Governor Shapiro for not only blessing us with his presence, but for getting this done. I'm a little envious, I have to tell you, because I work most of the time in Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, right now, this GSD attitude isn't really what's happening in Washington. So maybe we need Governor Shapiro to come down and show them how this works.
I think so.
Josh for president.
And on that note, I know everybody always groans when it snows, but let me tell you, the only reason I'm here right now is because it snowed and they canceled votes in Washington today, so I was able to be here instead of driving down to Washington, but I need to be there too, and I hope we get things together pretty soon. But I'm so proud to join all of these folks in this effort to get in our critical fight to support our older Pennsylvanians and make sure that they have the resources that they deserve. Talking about it, it's like when you say to a veteran, thank you for your service, but then you don't do anything for the veterans. We can say, oh, we all want to take care of our seniors, they deserve it, but if you don't do something, those are just empty words. And this, the property tax and rent rebate program, this is action. This isn't just words. And you've heard some of what it's going to do, but it's historic. It really is. Since my first day in Congress, when I came in at the end of 2018, I have thought and fought for to make sure that seniors have the kinds of benefits that they deserve. It's an uphill battle in Washington, I will tell you. Sometimes they even say the quiet part out loud, which is cutting Social Security or cutting Medicare or reducing benefits so that the rich folks don't have to pay more in taxes. God forbid, right? But I will pledge to you, and I pledge to you that I already have been working every single day to make sure that our older Pennsylvanians and our older Americans are getting the kinds of benefits that they need, and that these efforts to cut or privatize Social Security or sunset, which means phasing it out over time, that those things don't happen. And I have to tell you, we may not be getting much done in this Congress, and if you watch the news, you know that's true. But in the last Congress, in which my party was in the majority, it's important to point out, we got a lot done, and some of those benefits are just now being seen. Lowering health care costs for everybody, but particularly for seniors, capping the price of insulin at $35 a month for Medicare recipients, allowing, in fact, requiring the federal government to negotiate the cost of life-saving drugs, and that's going on right now. This process of Medicare negotiation is going on for 10 of the most often needed life-saving drugs. And I'm going to continue that work. A lot of my colleagues are going to continue that work, and it's just great to be from a state where people get things done. I'll just give you an example. Last year, I was thrilled to secure a $1 million investment in Graysdale Nursing Home in Northampton County, something that the County Executive McClure and I celebrated and worked on together, and I will continue to do that kind of work as long as I am in Washington. I just think this should be something that transcends party lines. This should be something that we can all come together on. My guess is sitting out here in the audience, we've got Republicans and we've got Democrats. And you know what? It really shouldn't make a difference, because all of you deserve the same sort of protection and vigorous fighting from your elected officials. Doesn't matter what your party affiliation is. So let me also just say, the last thing I'm going to say that I'm really, really impressed by is just how pragmatic this administration, Governor Shapiro's administration, is. You know, we fought really hard in the last Congress to make sure that we got a really nice Social Security increase, and some of you, I'm sure, saw the benefits of that cost of living increase last year. But you know what, and that's something to be celebrated. But what good is an increase in Social Security if you find that your entitlement to a program like rent rebates is eliminated, because now you got this increase in Social Security, and so you're over that limit, and then you can't get the rent rebate. Well, that's exactly what this bill does. That's what I call real common sense kinds of legislation. And it means that people in the government are actually listening to people. That's what it means. So thank you again, Governor Shapiro. And with that, I am told that I am to introduce Ms. Angelina Roque. She is a resident here of Litzenberger House, and as I understand it, you are also the president of the Residents' Council. Is that correct? So here we go. Talk about somebody who can get things done.
That's real politics right there. This is so cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let me tell you, I have to speak in English and Spanish at the same time. Wow. I had to read it because I don't want to forget anything about the words that are written here, I have to say. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
I am Angelina Roque, and I'm a resident here in the Litzenberger House. Mm-hmm. On behalf of myself and all of the residents here, I want, first of all, thank the Governor Shapiro for being here with us today to make this important announcement about property tax rent rebate program. I'm sure there are many other places that would have loved to host you, but you chose us.
That's right.
You chose us. That is exciting and meaningful to us. I have been a participant in this program for years, and it definitely enhanced my ability to cover my expenses. Housing is really one of the most expensive items, and we really don't want to have to make choices between housing and other expenses like medications and groceries. Having this extra boost each year makes me feel more secure and like I am able to continue living as I am in my community. While we appreciate this program, the expansion has been needed for a long time to keep up more with rising costs. Many people I know, and we know many people, had worked hard to make this happen. And it feels good, and it feels good to know that you all care about us and think about us. This program now be open to many more Pennsylvanians, and the amount of rebate will increase, which will be great for me and my friends and neighbors. I want to encourage you all, my fellow residents here, and all older Pennsylvanians to apply for this helpful program. Again, thank you, Governor Shapiro, Representative Samuelson, and all the representatives, senators, and congressmen here for seeing us today, for hearing us today, and for working together to make a real difference in our lives. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Great job. Beautiful job.
Thank you very much. Okay. Ahora voy a hablar con mi gente en español. Buenos días para todos. Soy la señora Angelina Roque y residente aquí en Litzenberger. De parte mía propia y de todos los residentes, quiero, primero que todo, agradecer al gobernador Shapiro por estar aquí con nosotros hoy para un importante anuncio sobre el programa de reembolso de impuestos a la propiedad de alquiler. Estoy segura que hay muchos lugares que usted hubiera querido estar hoy haciendo este anuncio, pero usted nos escogió a nosotros. Esto es algo que nos emociona y que significa mucho para todos nosotros. Mientras estamos muy agradecidos con este programa y con ustedes por este aumento que hemos estado necesitando por mucho tiempo para mantenernos de pie ya que el aumento en el costo de vida es alto y se hace cada día más evidente. Mucha gente ha trabajado duro para que esto sea posible. Mucha gente ha trabajado duro para que esto sea posible. Y es bueno saber que pensaron en nosotros cuando lo estaban haciendo. Este programa ahora está disponible para todos aquellos que cualifiquen, y ya ustedes escucharon que hay posibilidad de que muchos que antes no cualificaban puedan hacerlo ahora. Todos los residentes de Pensilvania y adultos mayores y personas con alguna incapacidad que no están dentro de la edad de adulto mayor, pero que pueden cualificar. La cantidad de este reembolso que aumentará es para mí, para mis amigos y mis vecinos y residentes de aquí, es algo maravilloso y algo grandioso. Exhorto a mis amigos, compañeros y residentes de Lisenberg y a todos los residentes mayores en Pensilvania, y a todos aquellos que ustedes conocen, a que apliquen a este gran programa que tanto nos ayuda. Gracias, gobernador Shapiro. Gracias, representante Samuelson. Gracias a su maravilloso staff, a las congresistas, a los senadores, a los representantes, a nuestra señora senadora Lisa Boscola, a nuestra congresista Susan Wild, que siempre han estado con nosotros. Gracias, gracias, gracias por hacer una gran diferencia en nuestras vidas. El Señor les bendiga hoy y siempre.
De nada.
That's good. Yeah, you speak Spanish. That's good. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Great work. De nada. Gracias.
Good afternoon. I think it is. Good afternoon. On behalf of the around 2,000 members of the Department of Revenue team, I just wanted to say that I'm proud to be with Governor Shapiro, our federal, state, and local elected officials, and all of you as we kick off a very important initiative to benefit a lot more Pennsylvania seniors and citizens with disabilities. As was mentioned, there's 175,000 new residents who are eligible for this program. And one of the things that might be a concern up front is, can we handle that many new applicants? Well, the answer to that is yes. Our team is working hard behind the scenes to make the necessary improvements to make sure that the new residents who are eligible can benefit from this program, hiring additional full-time and temporary staff, working with our Secretary of Aging and our area agency on aging to doing outreach events, improving our processes, internal processes, to make sure we can do it as timely as possible. But as you know, one thing that still needs to happen is our residents need to apply. And one of the things that, when I was serving with the House and Senate members here, that always bothered me is when a person was eligible and could receive the benefit, but just didn't apply. We want everyone to reach out. There's help out there for our residents. Within our district offices, with our elected officials, with the area agency and aging to make sure that all the current eligible recipients and 175 new recipients receive the benefits that they deserve. And just in closing, what you may know is this program is part of a compact, a 50-year compact that has existed with the state and its residents, one of the oldest compacts of its type in the nation. But after 20 years, having served in the Assembly towards the 18th year, we were becoming concerned, especially with all the additional gaming out there. This is funded through the lottery, whether we could keep this program going. Well, Governor Shapiro, Representative Samuelson have committed themselves to make sure that this would never happen on their watch, that they would step up and lead to make sure this program is around to provide the necessary assistance to our senior citizens and to our citizens with disabilities, and will be around for another 50 years. I want to compliment them and look forward to working with them to make sure this initiative goes forward like it should. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And we'll take some questions from the media in a moment. I just want to say, Angelina, thank you for speaking here. I want you to know, for all of the folks who have stood for office, have run hard, and who have earned the trust of the people, none of us have a hard a job as you do leading this home right here. So God bless you for doing that work. And we're thankful. I also want to report to my high school Spanish teacher that I followed most of what you said. It was helpful that you said a lot of it in English first, but I followed you on that. And again, to all of you, thank you for welcoming us here. And know that you have a group of lawmakers here who care a lot about you. It took a lot of us to get this done, and this was a big lift and a big deal, and we are grateful. I also just want to acknowledge 2 other senior members of my administration who are here. You know, I've tried to build an administration that reaches out to folks all across Pennsylvania. And no matter what you look like or where you come from, who you love, who you pray to, what language you speak, we want to hear from you. We want you to be engaged. And 2 of the leaders in my administration who lead what's called commissions for us that reach out to folks and solicit their opinions and bring that in and have my ear are here with us today. Olga Negron, who leads our Commission for Latino Affairs. You definitely understood everything she said, right? Yeah. And Razine Carew, who leads our AAPI Commission. And I want you to feel as though they are your voices in our administration. They very much are. So thank you both for being with us today. And with that, we'll be happy to take any questions from the media.
What are the next steps forward for seniors, and what are you looking to do?
Well, I'm here in Bethlehem today because the application officially opens today, and we wanted to make sure that folks here in the Lehigh Valley knew that right away, and folks all across Pennsylvania learned that today as well. All folks need to do is go and apply. If you got a rebate last year, you're likely going to get a much higher rebate this year. So apply again. And if you think you're on the edge, you might be one of those 175,000 new people who qualify, we want you to apply as well. There are computers in the back of the room where you can work through the process. You can go on pa.gov/PTRR for a really easy to use website to sign up. But the next step, as Secretary Brown talked about, is everyone here going out and signing up to get their relief. The application is open right now. And yes, of course, every representative, every senator, they process these things every day. And so if you'd rather go into their office, as the senator alluded to, there's kind of no wrong door here. Whichever office you show up in, they're going to be able to work through the process. So if you feel more comfortable showing up in one of their offices, that's a great way to get relief as well.
Where did the funding come from? Is it from the general fund? Is it from taxes? Where does it come from?
It's from the lottery fund. It comes from the lottery, and that's overseen by Secretary Brown. So keep playing the lottery. Scratch it off. Anybody else? Anybody in the media? Great. Did you? By the way, anybody else? She goes, no, lunch. So on that note, let's go eat some lunch.
Governor, thanks.
Really got it done, man.
Really appreciate it.